Welcome back to the Coach Mack Show. Coach, we were unexpectedly off Friday night, but the fans, they packed the place. They hung out for a couple hours. But before we get into Friday night and our opponent this week with Bacon County, we had a B-team game last week.
We had our first home B-team game, first B-team game of the year against Brantley County, and it was really exciting for us to see these young guys who have been running scout team for us a chance to get out there and actually play against somebody else. And so often we have really good football players that will come off the B team throughout the season. Three guys that you got written down here that deserve talked about is quarterback number 11, Tyler Chesser. Did a really, really nice job throwing the football and running the football himself. And Gage Lee, number 89, Gage did a great job catching the ball. Gage has got really good hands. Is somebody that we thought would, who's really going to start coming on and be able to help us on the varsity level before the year's over. And then Travis Ray. Travis Ray is new to our school, new to our program. He's a freshman, and Travis had an outstanding game as a freshman. We really didn't, at the outside linebacker position, we don't keep stats of B-team games, but I would have to think we threw for quite a few yards with Chesser and Lee hooking up. And then also we think Travis Ray probably without a doubt led the team in tackles. He was sideline to sideline, making big hits, making big plays. Really, we were ahead the whole game, and when the game was called because of lightning in the third quarter, we were winning, and so we did win the game, and it got shortened because of the weather. We've had some really terrible weather here last few weeks, and it's hard even today as we're doing this show. We're off the field earlier than we wanted to be. We didn't have probably 30 minutes out there before lightning came in, and then seems like here of late when the weather comes in, the lightning and the thunderstorms, they seem to be sticking around a little longer than usual. Usually we can wait them out, but it was not the case today, and it's not been the case. Seems like here the last couple of weeks.
I know early in the first quarter, I was webcasting. We webcasted the B-team game, and early in the first quarter, Tyler and Gage seemed to be the hot combination. Gage Lee, number 89, and Tyler was wearing number 3. Yeah. That threw me the first series, Coach.
Yeah, well, sometimes those guys, we wear our practice jerseys in B-team games, and those B-team, those practice jerseys can get tore up. Tyler runs scout team quarterback, because you can imagine what the first D does to him pretty regular, about ripping his jersey off of him. So, yeah, he wore number 3. Again, we don't have another B-team game this week, but we have one the week after this, a week from Thursday. I believe it would be the 17th probably, and we travel to Ware County for that. So our young guys, they don't get to go this week. We're disappointed. We wish we could just keep on going with this, but you're only allowed 7 games throughout the year, so we have to spread them out, and they have built-in open weeks. So, again, they'll be back in action a week from this Thursday up at Ware County.
All right, Coach, let's move on to Friday night. Big game, Santa Fe Raiders coming all the way up from Alachua, Florida. Good crowd on hand. Weather was threatening to be terrible. And we had lightning all night, but several hundred fans stuck around for a few hours.
Well, GHSA, our governing body, has a rule that once after 7:30, you have 2 hours to get the game started, and after 2 hours, it's a no contest for that night. Now you can reschedule it the next day, but we waited it out, and I knew we were going to have a big crowd if the weather was going to cooperate, and of course we knew there was going to be a chance of bad weather. We were hoping we were going to dodge it. And it seemed like what happened looking at the radar before the game, it went through, then it kind of circled back and went through again. And then the 2-hour time came and gone. And then in talking to the coach over there, Coach Wiles, for financial reasons and other reasons, they weren't able to come back the next day. And I understood. For them, now for us, 95 miles isn't a long trip at all. But for them, they're not used to traveling that far, and they had to get charter buses and so forth. So it was difficulty for them to reschedule for the next day.
Right.
So the game being a non-region game, it was considered a no contest. And my first concern was, how's this going to affect us for playoff points? And from what I understand is when they figure up our points for the playoffs, they'll figure us up. They'll divide it with 9, being the 9 games that we're going to play instead of 10 games. So it shouldn't hurt us at all. It won't help us, but it's not going to hurt us. It should be fine when they figure up.
That was my next question.
Yeah, whenever they figure up the points, we should be just fine because they should figure it up with 9 instead of 10 games. Again, Santa Fe had a lot of speed, a very, very good football team. They were really excited about being here. They said our atmosphere pregame was the best atmosphere they've experienced. And, of course, we know that playing in Charlton County in the swamp, with the music going when they get off the bus and the Warpath playing for almost 2 hours straight, they know that it's a big atmosphere. It's a great atmosphere to play in. And we were disappointed we didn't get to play. I was kind of curious how it was going to end up because, you work all week to get your kids focused and ready to play at 7:30. Then every time we had a lightning delay, we had it to where the kids would be fully padded up, helmets on. We were lined up at the door, ready to go out. And next thing you know, we've got word that another 30 minutes, because every time there's a pop of lightning within 8 miles, that's another 30 minutes. And we had the score clock going on that. And so we'd have to bring them back in. They would sit down around their lockers and so forth. And then it got to a point where I said, these kids are losing their focus. But it was good to hear that Coach Wiles, who I met out by the field, told me the same thing. His kids have lost their focus and didn't know how this thing was going to be if we did take the field later on. But we waited around until 9:30, and then all of a sudden we had that one more pop of lightning, which really set it to where we weren't going to be able to play. They weren't able to come back. We would have played the next day if they could have came back, but they couldn't do that. So it was a no contest and that sort of thing. So, we'd like to have played, but that's just the way it goes. I believe, to my knowledge, in the last 25 years as head coach here, it's the first game we've had completely canceled, where we didn't take the field. But I know we've had games ended early. At Long County, we played about a half, and it ended and so forth. But I'm not sure that we've had, many games where we just flat out didn't play. Maybe Beach High School happened one time. And it's an awful feeling because you spend all week preparing for it, and you're excited about playing. You got a plan. You got a game plan in for that game, things you want to do, things you want to see if it's going to work. And then all of a sudden you just got to throw it out. That week was really good for nothing as far as planning. But hopefully we can bounce back and refocus for this week, and with Bacon County coming to the swamp this week.
I know the weather seems like affected everybody Friday night. I know I saw several weather delays from Bacon and Pierce was weather delayed. I think Camden was. Hilliard, I understand, had 4 30-minute weather delays, and I think they finally finished playing like 1 a.m. So it really affected all the area schools.
Yeah, I tell you, and it's tough this time of year down in this part of the country. We have this kind of weather. Then I can remember there being times where we've had a threat of a hurricane and had to play on a Monday night before and turn around and play that Friday again. That's happened to us. So talking to the coaches, you can remember when you're a little kid and you got bad weather, you got rain, you got mud on the field, you're excited about getting out there playing in it. But as a coach, you want the conditions to be perfect because you don't want the conditions to play an effect on the outcome of the game. You want the ball to be dry, you want the field to be dry, you don't want you don't want that sort of thing going on. So I'll be glad when we finally get through this part of the season, or with this weather straightening out. But right now, looking at the weather for the rest of the week, it looks like more of the same. Hot weather, rain in the evenings, and thunderstorms. And so I don't know what Friday has to hold for us. Hopefully we can get a good gate. We need a good gate. Our athletic program is ran according to who walks through that front gate. That's the money we use. We don't get money from the school system, from the board office, or anything like that. Our athletic department strictly runs by gate receipts. And so we took a hit Friday night by not having any gate receipts. And of course, so if this Friday night isn't better, we can be in some financial trouble and so forth, trying to run our program here. But hopefully the weather will cooperate, and hopefully we'll have a huge crowd. And I know the second half we're going to talk about Bacon. And when we talk about Bacon, I think they're going to bring a huge crowd.
All right, Coach. We're going to take a short break. Thank our sponsors. Obviously, you have to thank our sponsors in the crowd Friday. Hopefully, they'll come back again this Friday. One more thing before we take the break. You may have already mentioned it. The ticket stubs from this past Friday, I understand, will apply if they want to.
Coach Cruz did mention that to me, and I think he mentioned it over the loudspeaker possibly, that if you bought a ticket for last Friday night's game, keep it, bring it this Friday, and it's just like it'll get you in, so you won't have to pay again. So we'll just so keep your ticket, keep track of them.
I don't think it's an issue with too many folks, but I did have a couple of people ask, and thought we'd address that real quick. All right, we'll be right back with the Coach Mack Show. All right, welcome back to the Coach Mack Show. It's Bacon County Week, Coach, but first of all, our senior spotlight, number 77, Ralph McCormick.
Ralph McCormick's been a guy that's been in the program from the very beginning. When he was in junior high, then came through the junior high program, into the high school program, and he was a typical offensive line guy, when he was young. He wasn't ready to play through our strength program, through the job he's done in the weight room. Now he's a guy that we're relying on this year, his senior year. He plays right offensive tackle for us, and this is his first year starting varsity. He started Bteam for the last couple of years, but this year he's a starting right offensive tackle. And again, he's the kind of guys you have to have in your program to be successful. A lot of people notice the running backs, the quarterbacks, and the wide receivers, all the people that get all the attention. Then you have guys like Ralph McCormick, offensive linemen, who don't always get a lot of attention unless the quarterback gets sacked or the running back gets tackled in the backfield. But, Ralphie, he lives north of the county up there by the Carter community, so he has a little bit of a commute every day, and we really appreciate those guys from St. George or the north side of the county who have to make a real effort to get here all the time for summer workouts, and Ralphie's done a great job of that, and we really appreciate the job he does. And again, we talk about kids that are just good people, and Ralph's a good person, good guy, and we appreciate him being on our football team. We appreciate the job he does each and every day. And he's one of Coach Murray's kids down at the offensive line, and they go through those guys, they don't have easy practices down there. They don't get to run around, catch footballs. They go against each other, or they're pushing that sled, or that sort of thing. So Ralph's our Spotlight Player of the Week, and hope he has a great game this week, and hopefully he can keep having a great season for us.
All right, well, congratulations, number 77, Ralph McCormick. You're our senior spotlight for this week. Coach, some games did get played Friday night. Bacon County and Pierce had they believe they had one lightning delay at the beginning. They had a shootout Friday night.
Yeah, the Bacon-Pierce game is always a big rivalry. We talk about rivalries in southeast Georgia. A lot of it starts from geographics. Us and Clinch were separated by the Okefenokee Swamp. Things such as that. And back when us and Brantley played, it was a rivalry. Our counties butt up to each other. And I think it'd be the same for Pierce and Brantley. They've always competed. A lot of times they've been in the same region different years, and they compete in all sports. And for the football game, it's always been a big game, and it's a big game for them, and it was a heck of a ball game. We watched it this morning as a coaching staff on film, and they showed it to our players once they got here later today, and the final score was 41-40. It came down to the end where Pierce County was lining up to go for a 2-point conversion, similar to what it was whenever they went for 2 against us, and they come up short, and Bacon had a 1-point win. It was a huge win. This is probably, from what I've seen, and we saw Bacon last year and we've seen Bacon in the past, Bacon County, this is probably the best Bacon County football team I've seen. Coach Ken Kofer just does an incredible job. He's got a great staff. I know a couple of guys on that staff, Coach Scott Brown and a few other guys that just do an incredible job. They're very well coached. It's the best coach team I've ever seen Bacon have, and maybe the most athletic team I've seen Bacon have. I'm not real sure who a lot of their players' names are. I know who their numbers. Number 7 really sticks out. Number 7's a big inside linebacker, running back / quarterback / fullback. He number 7 is a kind of player who is a lot of the Division I schools are looking at, as well they should. He's as good a football player as I've seen around in quite some time. And he's going to be the best player on the field probably. And they got a ton of speed at wide receiver, a ton of speed at the other backfield positions. Number 1, different players in the backfield, quarterback or even running back. And defensively, they fly around to the football. They're great up front. The inside guys are just fantastic. Along number 7, like I said, he's a college football player. Yeah. He's a college football player already looking. But Bacon County, Bacon is going to bring in their best football team I've seen them ever have. They're going to bring a gigantic crowd. They're 2-0. They're going to come in expecting to beat us. I remember this summer at a media day up in Ware County, their head football coach, Coach Kofer, and he said last year he felt like that was a very physical football game. We played with them, and that we did a pretty good job of hitting them, and he's vowed to return the favor. He said that they're going without a doubt be much more physical this time around, and I'm sure they will be, and from what I've seen on film, they are. They are a very physical football team. I believe that I know people are excited about the Indians, and I'm glad of that. And I know that the Manchester game and the Pierce scrimmage made people excited about us. But I'm not sure how good we are. I'm not sure we're the kind of football team people think we are. Really? And it's going to be a game like Bacon that's going to really answer some questions. Bacon is going to be by far the best football team we've seen yet, and they're going to be the best football team we'll see in a while, and probably. So it's going to be a great challenge for us. It's going to be great atmosphere. If weather permits, it's going to be a great atmosphere. I think our side will be packed. I know their side's going to be packed. They're going to make that short trip down from Alma and fill up that side over there, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a real interesting football game. We're going to have to play our best to have a chance. If we play anything less than our best, we'll run a chance of getting beat, and not just beat, but beat bad by a very, very good Bacon County football team.
I know they have a little extra motivation, too, from last year. We sort of ruined their introduction to their new stadium, so they're going to be fired up coming in Charlton.
Well, they will be, and they should be. They're a good football team. They're a team that's sitting there thinking about region titles. They're a team that's thinking they have a chance to not only make the playoffs, which I'm sure they will, but not only just make the playoffs, but advance in the playoffs. The head football coach over there, Ken Kofer, has just done a great job. He's an excellent football coach. They're lucky to have him. He used to be the head football coach at Cook County. He did a great job over there. Now he's at Bacon. Bacon is really lucky to have him, and he just does a great job of coaching football. And I think that the Bacon County football program is definitely on the rise. A friend of mine and a friend of Coach Kofer's, Ross New, is now the principal over there. Ross New used to be the head football coach at Irwin County. We used to compete against him, and I know that's going to be huge for that program, is to have a principal like Ross New, who is going to do everything in his power to make sure that program gets what it needs, and Coach Kofer gets what he needs to help those kids be successful. So he's real fortunate in that aspect also. It's going to be a tough game, and I'll tell you, anybody that lines up against Bacon has their hands full this year, because I think they're a better football team than us. Our kids have got to play great. On defense, we've got to be able to adjust to several different formations. You look at the first 5 plays against Pierce County, they showed 5 different formations. They went from 1-back spread to 4 backs in the backfield and all kinds of different looks. So we've got to be ready for really anything that comes our way.
Defensively, offensively and defensively. Defensively, I obviously didn't get the film you guys get, but I watched the replay on the network. They spread the ball around.
They will spread the ball around, and they're good when they spread the ball around. They're good at anything they do. They do a better job at doing some of the things we do than we do. So when they line up in that those three backs in the backfield leading the number 7 and running right at you and just really trying to out-tough you. They do a great job at that. That thing right there, we're not still sure how to stop that. And I know Pierce County had trouble stopping it the entire game. It's going to be tough. And then the very next play they can go spread formation. And again, very tough to stop that. So we're looking at it being a physical football game. We're looking at them being sound on special teams, very, very good on defense, very fast on defense, and their offense being extremely multiple and us having to stop a lot of different things, especially number 7 in the backfield, but then also number 1 in the backfield. And their passing game, number 10 is a great wide receiver, excellent wide receiver. He'll be the best wide receiver on the field probably that night. So we have our work really cut out for us. Hopefully we'll have a big crowd, a lot of energy, a lot of noise when we're on defense, not so much noise when we're on offense, and hopefully we'll have a lot of fun in Southeast Georgia high school football on Friday night.
So we need that crowd to come back from this past Friday, pack the stadium, be loud, support the tribe. It's going to be a good ball game.
Yeah, I hope it is. I hope we can make it a good ball game. Hope we don't let it get out of hand, and we can compete with Bacon. Again, they're an extremely, extremely good AA school. It's going to be a hard, tough-fought contest.
All right, Coach. Let's move on. Activities this week, and I believe I didn't know the Maidens had games today, but they were playing today. Maidens game tomorrow, and I believe Bteam Thursday.
We don't have any Bteam Thursday.
No game this week?
None this week. The only football game, the junior high may be playing. I'm not sure where at, but the Maidens today, I know the Maidens today are doing that 50 inning game for fundraiser over there, and I'm sure they've got a couple games this week. But the Bethune will play at Callahan on the 8th, which I guess will be Tuesday, tomorrow. I believe it is tomorrow. They'll play over at Callahan Middle. They play 3 road games before they come back home on September 29th against Callahan. So again, hopefully those parents get a chance to watch the junior high and hopefully get everybody over to watch the Maidens. They were in a big tournament this week. I don't think the tournament quite went as they wanted, but again, they're an outstanding softball team. I think our girls softball team is probably one of the top 5 or something like that in single A right now, and a lot of really great kids over there, and need to get over there and support the softball team also.
All right, Coach. I appreciate you spending your Labor Day with us. I know you had a little bit of practice going on, some film, but I do appreciate you taking the time out for us as well.
No problem.
Happy Labor Day.
All right.
Go home and get some grilling done now.
That's right.
All right, thank y'all for watching. We'll see y'all Friday night. Bring everybody up here. Let's pack the place and support the Indians.